In a previous episode, we featured Max Hunt on his global travels experiencing the joys of the Norwegian sea. From the look of things, all is well off the coastline. But inland it's a different story, as salmon numbers in the local rivers seem to be on the decline. To find out what's happening, Max stopped near the town of Lundamo to speak to the fishermen of the River Gaula.
I've been here for 15 years here on Gaula in Norway. Begin to fishing on salmon in the south of Norway, in Mandalselva and Bjerkheimselva. And for 10 years we stay here on this place. I come here for the big salmons, for the fresh salmon. They come up from the fjord in the Elva and fish for salmons about 8 kilos, 10 kilos.
So with 15 years experience of fishing this stretch of river, how does it compare to the previous years?
It's very difficult for all the salmon rivers in this area. It's going better and better for the last years. About 2012 was a very, very good season. Yeah, but the last year and this year is so bad. Yeah, it's the baddest season I ever stay here. Yeah, that's all for 2 weeks fishing here in this spot.
A fact made even worse when you've driven 1,400 kilometres just to get there. One man happy with his catch this season is British-born Jeremy Hill, who has been fishing the Norwegian waters for 20 years. Jeremy was so impressed with the quality of fishing, he even moved here.
This is Valdum Valdayan, one of the top half dozen lower Gaula beats. This time of year, middle of June, is the prime time. It's the time when the large fish run. So your average weight of your average fish now is around about 8 kilos, and that's the average. So you will catch fish from between 10 and 30 pounds this time of year. This year's been very slow, exceptionally slow. Some of us have been lucky. I've had 2, that's as much as you have any right to expect on a slow year. So I'm very happy.
The decline has been blamed on a number of factors, including the netting of the fjords and the removal of too many mature fish capable of breeding. To better understand what is happening in the rivers, the Norwegian authorities are keeping a close eye on the fish that are removed.
Everything caught is recorded. For statistical reasons, of course, but also for the powers that be, so they know what the population levels are and what we're catching. In addition, we always take a scale sample, which is then analysed later, particularly to determine the genetic balance. They're particularly worried that we're having hybrids of the wild fish and farm fish escapees, which will damage the gene pool. So they want to know how much and what effect it's having on the general population. In addition, we record things like the number of lice on the fish. For the adults, that's not such a problem, but at the moment we're having a terrible problem with lice decimating the smolt population as it tries to leave the river for the sea. And this is generally accepted to be the cause of the recent reduction in catches in the majority of the Norwegian rivers.
Fortunately, there's still a better chance of catching on this stretch of river than the others, if you can afford the day ticket on the prime swims, that is.
Galfossen is a very interesting feature because it's a natural barrier to the fish. Once the water height exceeds about 160 cumex, that's cubic meters per second, they can't pass up it. It's just too fast for them. So they gather in the hole below and basically build up and wait for the water to drop. And that's the premier place to fish on the river. It's ridiculously expensive. The only people that actually get to fish it are the rich Norwegian businessmen and such people, because it's just absurd. I believe it was something like 8,000 kroner a day per person. So if you were a party of 10 people, it would be 80,000 kroner or £8,000 for the day. It's something like that.
Unless the Norwegian authorities find a way to reverse the decline in the future, even hefty price tags such as this may not guarantee a good day on the bank. Unlike its Icelandic neighbour across the sea, Norway does not actively promote a catch and release policy, but all of that may be about to change. From the 1st of August this year, extraordinary restrictions on fishing for salmon, sea trout and sea char will come into place in southern Norway, including the return of all fish over 65 centimetres. But as the salmon in mid-Norway have failed to appear this year, is it too little, too late? For more information about the conservation and fishing of the Gaula, check out gaula.no.